are really looking forward to 2021, and with that come a tidal wave of predictions of trends for weddings. Now, it is a lot to think about and a lot to look over. So I've tasked each of our board panels today to come up with a couple of wedding trends so the rest of us can judge them. And of course, we're going to be judging them live, so our reactions are going to be instantaneous. So you'll get a real good idea of what we think is good and what we think should burn with 2020. And so part of our panel, let me introduce Marcy Gutenberg with An Affair to Remember by Marcy. Hi, Marcy.
Hello, and I've got my matches today.
And it's our last show of 2020.
Yes, it is.
Oh my God!
Very exciting.
I know. I'm so excited about getting into season 2. But we'll talk about trends first. But let me bring on Brooke. Hi, Brooke. It's good to see you.
Ta-da!
You look amazing, by the way. Hello, fashionista. I think that's kind of yeah. I think
we'll be talking about that later.
Well, and honestly, we've got the gang. The gang is all here because we've got Nicole Sellers with CLE Events. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, guys. So good to be back. Nice to see you all.
It's
we
nice
missed you.
Good to see you.
We missed you.
I
I'm
did.
so glad. Well, and to round out our panel today, I am so happy to have Tyler Black. I feel like the gang is all here.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Tyler.
Hey.
Hey.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I can't imagine that we have a more truthful set of people to talk about the trends of 2021, because I don't think any of us will ever hold back on about what we really think. And so I tasked each of you to come up with a couple of trends that you think are either going to be good or bad. Now, you didn't tell us what they are, so none of us know what the other person has come up with, so our reactions will be real. And then also, you didn't tell us whether you thought it was a good trend or a bad trend, so I'm actually kind of excited to see what you guys came up with. So I'm going to start with Marcy. So Marcy, obviously we're going to be talking about invitations with you, yeah?
Yes, today we're going to talk about invitations and all the new upcoming trends that are coming about.
All right, so obviously when any wedding starts, the first thing that people think about is invitations. So let me just pull that up. All right, so here we go.
Okay, so we're a little bit ahead here, but this one,
we've got something with lots of color.
Yes, lots of color. Blues, aquas are going to be really, really hot for 2021. The minimalist look, which is, as you can see, the text that's on here is very minimal, right to the point, and that's a new trend for 2021.
Well, and I think that we can all agree. I don't know. I like this because I feel like it's straight to the point. We've had enough of all the talk over 2020. I feel like this is a nice, fresh take. What do you guys think?
Exactly. I love it because I think you can put your information, a lot of more information on like a wedding website. Yeah. And, you know, people they want quick. People don't want to read. People want to get right to the point. And, you know, your invitation is about setting the tone. Yeah. So why not let the invitation speak to the actual affair and let all your words go on, you know, your fluffy words go somewhere else. This is a gorgeous invitation right here. We just did actually just this month.
Oh yeah, this was for married. Oh, this was for my bride.
Yeah, that is your bride. Yes, it is. Yeah. And we did a rose gold kind of foil invitation. Rose foil printing is very hot, as well as digital printing. So those are some things. You also see a mixture of different font styles. Yeah. So that it kind of captures areas of where you need to look very quickly. And it's right again to the point. And the liner, as you can see, pulled it all together. That was also edged in a gold foil. Yeah. So it all kind of pulled together. This shows the gray, which we will, ultimate gray is a color of the year for the Pantone 2021.
Which
so
we will get to.
More
I got lots to say about that.
And we'll talk about Pantone later on.
Or not.
Or not.
Or not.
No, I'm a fan actually, so that's one of the things I did.
And then this is
yellow, illuminating yellow, which is the bright pop of color right in the center there with the daisy, or not the daisy. What is it called?
It's a flower.
It's a flower.
It's a yellow flower. Yeah. Hello, florist. Tyler, what is it?
Well, that's a daisy.
It is a daisy. Okay. I was right then. Okay.
Okay, it's a
Daisy
daisy.
mom, yeah.
It's just a Gerber daisy.
What was that?
It's a Gerber
It's a
daisy.
Gerber
A
daisy.
Gerber daisy. That's what I was thinking of. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it just really adds a little bit of element. If you took that out, it would be a very, black and white invitation.
Right. And then I see
More
lots of
yellow.
color.
Keep going.
More
And again,
color.
yellow.
More color. Okay, this
Right
is
here
interesting.
is an example of an upcoming trend, which is something that we did have in the past. It kind of went away for a little while, but now the eco-conscious, eco-friendly invitations are really coming back.
Yep.
They're sustainable. They're in many cases, it's either soy-based inks or plantable invitations. This one here, the outer shell can be planted into
Right.
wildflowers that can grow.
Well, and I know that, being green is kind of all the rage right now. And then, you have beautiful invites like this. But what about the ink? Is the ink also biodegradable? Is it
The
also
ink is soy. It's typically they're made. I mean, the ones that I work with, they're typically soy-based inks.
Okay, so they're still
They
safe.
are.
So
They
it
are.
is actually truly green.
It is truly green.
Love it.
And there's favors and accessories that can accompany them, whether it's a program or seating cards or favors. There's so many things that you can do.
Right.
People don't even think of.
And is that what this next slide is? It's like
It is. These are like little, I guess you could call like little favor bombs that you can plant in the ground.
Oh, I love it. I love the
Very
favor
cute.
bomb.
And they come with a little verbiage.
I love that.
Name and date.
I still have the one that we did that she did for the flowers from the semester last year.
Yeah,
I
and
found
like
it in the storage unit yesterday, by the way.
And then here we have a place card. It looks like it's still done with the same kind of green idea.
Yes, exactly. The heart is plantable. The other paper is still eco-friendly, but it is not plantable.
So I feel like, I don't know about you guys, but I don't know. I feel like that there's a little arts and crafts thing going on here that I'm not 100%.
A little, but this is actually a very reputable company. I've worked with them for many, many years.
Yeah.
They do a quality job. Pricing is I mean, your price points are different depending on what your aesthetics are.
Well, you can say it. It can be expensive.
It isn't truly that expensive. It's more, I would say, more in a mid-range.
Okay,
The whole
gotcha.
ensemble, but usually that comes with like the addressing and all of that. I mean, it's a great way to pull your whole look together. Right here, we talk about COVID. Obviously, we've done sessions on that in the past.
I'm really hoping that we don't have to do this.
I'm like, I don't want to see that ever again.
You're right. I never want to see this
It's beautiful,
again.
but
It is. It's like
Even though we don't want to say it, it's still going to be here. Even if the inoculations are here, we're still going to have to adhere to, keeping our guests safe. I mean, ultimately, we want everybody to walk away, and come to it, and feel safe. So, we just want to make sure that we're doing our due diligence as a host, or as a planner. In our case,
and I like
this one
this.
here is a pop of color. The liners are going to be super hot for 2021. Whether you create your own and design it and have it printed, or if you have an invitation company that's going to pull the whole look together with what's on the invitation.
So when we're looking at this, and I don't know if you guys, the panel will agree. I mean, I love the idea of a liner, but does that also add a dramatically up the cost of an invite when you do a liner like this?
Typically, invitations are all a la carte. I mean, most companies, most hosts, companies that are out there, they work with depending on your needs, because not everybody's needs are going to be the same. Somebody may need a RSVP card, somebody may not. Somebody may want to put a reception card in. Somebody may have the reception in the same place as the wedding, so they don't necessarily need a reception card. It really depends. So I recommend, when you're looking for an invitation, always remember the components that you're going to need, and take that into account when you're putting your whole, your whole vision together and your budget. This is just a pop of color with the yellow again and the foil printing. Again, same thing here. Botanicals are big again.
So
They've kind of gone away a little bit. I don't think.
and I see that you did the lining on the envelope and that it pulls in botanicals. Are you saying that botanicals are going to be a trend for 2021?
I think it's going to be a backseat kind of trend because I think it's been here for a while.
You think it's going to be a sleeper trend?
I do. I do. I don't think it's going to go away.
Right.
I just don't see it. I don't see it in the forefront.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. You know, we're going to be doing a lot of outdoor weddings.
Yeah.
So it could take a rise.
Love it.
Yeah, this was starting to come in about a year and a half ago, even right before COVID.
Exactly.
We were doing a lot of napkins and the floral print and stuff like that. It was just a subtle enhancement. So I think it's lovely.
And so I'm looking at this next one, the brunch and bubbly. I love, but there's a lot of flowers going on. It's very wildflower kind of vibe. You know, that kind of goes back to your botanical prediction, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does. It does. This almost gives me a little bit of a 70s vibe too.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Right? Well,
Yes.
and I think that's actually one of the things that we'll be talking about is that is 70s making a comeback.
Very much so.
Okay, so I'm interested in this one. It's like a pearl material, right?
It is. It's an acrylic invitation,
Yeah.
a loose-side invitation.
Yeah.
And it's a marbleized. It's a marbleized acrylic. So,
But is it
gorgeous
plastic?
invitation. What was that?
Is it plastic?
No, it's hard. It's like really not solid hard.
Oh gosh. Okay. So you get this in the mail. You get a pearlized piece of plastic in the mail. I see I like some of the visuals on this, but also it's catching me a little off guard. To be honest, I'm like, do I like this, guys? What do you think?
I think it's a big throwback to the 70s as well. This was
too.
a product that was used a lot in the 70s.
Oh, was it? I didn't know
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Mary, please. You know.
little hold on to the.
I think it looks lovely.
I have a more updated one right here. I don't know if you can see it. I'll try to get it in my screen here.
Yep.
This is more of an updated look, and then on the back, they have
Oh yeah.
You can always put like a pocket in the back there for your enclosure cards,
Love
but
it.
it's just like a different kind of look with the foil effect.
I like the one that you had in your hand I like that much better than the one that we see a picture of.
too.
Oh, there it is. Ta-da.
I think it shows better, straight up.
Yeah. And so we have a picture of it up of the fact that I feel like this is a much more updated visual. It's not so 70s plastic kind of, I like this. This is nice. This feels like a nice combo.
When you're doing an acrylic invitation or loose side invitation, or the weight is going to play a factor, the shape of the card is going to play a factor, and any kind of bumps when you're sending it to your guests, that is going to play a factor for the postage.
Because it's got to be heavier. Oh, okay, what's going on here?
Leather.
Is this leather?
Going to be hot, they say.
Really?
I kind of feel it's kind of been here before.
But
things come back. They're cyclical.
Well, and this is a bar mitzvah.
This is a very cool picture.
Okay, yeah, I love this because it's got the whole football theme. It's very bar mitzvah. I love the idea of it.
Mm-hmm.
I find it interesting because there was just an article today that Hindus are suing Louis Vuitton because they want yoga mats not to have leather on them. So it's funny that you're like, oh, leather invites are making a.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Yeah.
They even make pool tables now. They make everything. Come on.
All right, so here we go. 2021 color of the year.
Yeah. Now this is a little different than the Pantone color because in the invitation world, in the event world, they're saying that aqua is going to be super hot. That's not the Pantone color of the year, though.
That's interesting.
So it's pretty interesting. But if you think about it, a lot of events are going to be outdoors.
Right.
You have a sky. So I think that's where they're pulling in those colors from.
So
it's very seasonal.
Right? I love this, especially for South Florida because we're such, the ocean, the sea, all of those colors that I'm getting that vibe.
That's what I get.
Yeah, eucalyptus.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
right? I think that out of everything that you've shown us so far, I like the acrylic thing that we just passed, and I really like these colors, these aquas, these greens, these light blues. I mean, this is really speaking to me personally.
It's coming.
And so what's this?
This one right here is about a couple of things here. You have like a vellum strap that holds in some of your pockets, some of your enclosures. Yeah. And then the liner is apparently matching the front of the invitation that I think is on the next slide.
Okay. And I feel like this invite is pulling together kind of all the things that you talked about, because it has the printing on the inside of the envelope. It has the vellum. It's in the square shape, which seems to be kind of a common trend out of the pictures that you showed us.
Exactly.
Oh, yep. And there it is.
Yeah. So it kind of all ties together, like you said. It's just, it's a very pretty, nice tones, has a lot of textures.
What's the number back here?
The number is actually, that's the zip code.
Oh.
If you look above it, you'll see there's like a couple of lines for the address.
And that's interesting. So they did the zip code in really big numbers, larger than the address itself.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Really.
You can do a lot of different ways to address an envelope on the back flap.
Okay. Hello, gorgeous.
This is a lot going on. This is twine with a lot of different variables in here, but I mean, I don't know if I'm loving it.
I love this. Are you kidding? Look at this. I love the edges of this paper.
The deckled paper is big. It went away for a while. It's starting to come back. Vellum papers are coming back.
But you could easily make this into a green card by doing seed paper on this. Yeah?
You could easily make what?
Like you can make this like the green, the seed paper. The plantable paper.
Yes, plantable paper easily could be done. I mean, it's called baker's twine is what it's wrapped with.
Yeah.
You could easily use that on any invitation, but you just want to make sure that it's being cohesive with the style.
Love it.
Which I do love.
And now we got lots of different kinds of styles.
Just lots of different visuals of different invitations coming out. It was a brand new album that just came out.
Okay. And before we get into this,
we're talking about the next slide.
Yep. Next slide.
The next slide is about ink or about printing. There are so many different processes going on, and I think people don't. I just want to kind of set a little bit of something so that people understand when you're using a color, whether it's a Pantone color, a PMS color, a CMYK color, it could change depending on the texture that you're putting it on, as well as the kind of process that you're using. There are so many things. There's letterpress, there's thermograph, there is foil, there's digital. Now, digital is going to be super hot because with digital, you can usually get away with more than one color.
Right.
In a lot of cases, it gives you a lot of flexibility. And it's a great process. It's also a more affordable process.
Yeah.
That's not to say that it's not going to look inexpensive. It can certainly be so with, depending on the accoutrements that you're picking out for it. This is a gorgeous invitation here as well.
Yes, we love the Bauer Sawicki wedding.
Yes, we do. This was this was actually earlier this year, before the pandemic.
Yeah.
So here we have, it was a silver cloud paper, which kind of again pulls out that illuminating gray. Yeah. Which we'll get to in a little bit. But I mean, talk about, a wow moment.
Really amazing. Oh, wax seals. Are wax seals coming back?
So wax seals are coming back. However, I do not recommend putting them on a back flap of an invitation envelope because when you're sending it through the post office, more than likely they're going to get lost in the translation. And most post offices do not do hand canceling anymore. Right. And they go through a machine. And not to say that the machines aren't adept at picking things up, but it's going through a machine. So there's a possibility. I would recommend using wax seals on whether you're doing seating cards, You can do them on the top of the invitation itself, on the, at the top.
On the menu card.
On the menu cards. There's a ceremony program. There's so many ways to use them.
Yeah.
And it's just really unique. Here is some hand calligraphy.
Yeah.
Or it looks, if you blow it up, it looks like hand calligraphy, but it is actually a print.
Oh, so you the look of calligraphy without the cost of calligraphy.
I like that.
Exactly. So, I mean, those can be, when you're picking out your style, you want to match your personalities with it too. And that also pulled in a little bit of the illuminating yellow.
Oh my goodness. So guys, what do you think? What were the things that you liked? And what were the things you're like, Nicole?
She's like, blur. There was a lot of information in that last stuff.
It really was, man. That was a lot.
Marcy understood the assignment.
Yes, she did, as always. So, what were the things that you really connected with, Nicole, on that one?
I do like the seafoam and the blues, like you, and definitely seeing the trend in the botanicals and across in decor as well. So I can see that, we're still seeing a lot of the rustic but inspired new ways, and that's kind of, I'm seeing that in the invitations as well.
Yep. And obviously I love the wax seal idea, but I just it's the practical part of it. Does it make sense practically?
Exactly.
But I do like the fact that you used it as part of the place card, part of the menu. I like that addition to it. Tyler, you're being kind of quiet.
Well, I don't dislike anything. I think it's all has its place. Each bride has their own circumstances, their own dreams, their own vision. I didn't see anything that just repulsed me. The only thing that I did see was a mismatch of colors on the one that was all bound up. Like, I don't know why they didn't carry the gray throughout. They had black background on one of the pieces, and that, for me, set the whole aesthetic off a little bit. As far as the retro papers and plastics, I think it's cool. It could be enhanced a little bit by putting a background on it, rather than just the piece itself. But I know that stuff gets expensive. So,
and that's the thing, is that you have to balance cost with visuals. And honestly, Marcy, there were so many terms, and I've been in this business for a long time, just like everybody else. And even I was starting to think, oh my God, is she speaking another language?
I didn't even touch on some things. I mean, there was actually one of the trends that I didn't put in there, and I'll just tell you about it briefly, but it was, people are starting to get their photograph, like an engagement photo, and have it like not cartoonized, but more
watermark.
Kind of like a cartoon.
Yeah,
where
watermark.
It's like a painting.
Yeah.
And you get like as their save the date card or something.
They should Andy Warhol that stuff, I think.
That's quite costly because you have to, procure somebody to paint that for you.
All right, so I'm super excited about this next subject because we are going to be talking about the supposed colors of the year. And I am like, okay. So Pantone came out with their colors of the year, and it's gray and yellow.
Illuminating yellow, or they call it illuminating.
Yeah.
And the ultimate gray. Now, the illuminating is supposed to resemble optimism, whereas the ultimate gray is supposed to resemble commitment or dependability.
Well, I feel like it's 2020 versus 2021. I feel like I'm like,
that's what I feel.
I mean, I don't understand this at all. Every time I think of yellow and gray, I start thinking of like plantations in the South and ladies drinking tea. And I don't know how you're supposed to make a full wedding out of yellow and gray, but Tyler and Nicole and Brooke, you might have better ideas. Tell me.
Well, I did a wedding last year, a little bit before the pandemic, that they came out with me. They wanted all yellow. And it took me back. I was kind of like, whoa. And it was in a venue that was kind of small. So I felt like it was going to be just so in your face. Yeah. And we ended up doing yellow and then silver with crystals. And it probably was one of my favorite weddings I've ever done.
But yeah, so gray and silver to you are fairly interchangeable when it comes to this kind of thing?
I'm thinking, because we did a metallic, like we did yellow ribbons with the silver buckles on, just like for the cocktail tables, just vases of yellow tulips. And it turned out so elegant. And then I did kissing balls all down the aisle of just, you know, yellow daisies. And it turned out spectacular. And it's a flower we haven't used in years and years and years for a wedding. But when you're using a single color, you can pave and put them all together. It was really romantic. It was really beautiful. And I actually thought the silver and the yellow worked well together. We used silver candelabras. It was really quite nice.
Well, and you know, you can tell that we're all filming from home because I hear a little doggy in the background. Edison, the one-eyed dog, but that's a whole different story. Right. Let's see. Look at this. So this is what? What are we looking at here?
That right there is Avery. Is about being vibrant, eye-catching. It is supposed to be joyful, and those are some of the colors that they're pulling in. So, and going back to your point or your question about, you know, does it have to be a certain color? Even though they're using specific colors in the Pantone world,
right?
For your event, whether it's a wedding or an event, pull in the colors that appeal to you the most. It can be on, you know, if you want to kind of be on the trend.
Right.
You can still do like as you know, Tyler was saying, you could still do like a silver or something where your color tones are kind of similar, but they don't have to be exactly the same.
So my question is, go ahead, Tyler.
I want to, for our brides out there, I want you to be careful with this because this is a new trend as people are getting paint swatches even and putting them together and then bringing them to us and wanting us to do their weddings in those tones. I want you to be very, very cognizant. Look up on the internet. Look at what flowers God made. We have limitations.
Here comes Jesus.
So
preach.
Yeah, because if not, we're spray painting. We're trying to make things look good, and that's tacky. So before you get some crazy color scheme idea that you saw in some book and magazine because they got some exotic flower that we can't get, this was a thing in the past, and I have a feeling it's going to start happening again because people have a lot of time on their hands and they're creating all these beautiful looks in their little studios and stuff. And you need to know what's available in your area, in your market, and in colors especially because there's so many different tones. And I just saw that rosy color on that Pantone look there, and that would be very difficult to find flowers in that category. Yes, that.
Yeah. So my question, and I love the fact that you brought this up because, you know, I try to tell brides all the time that there's no such thing as natural white in the world of nature. Like there's no such thing as a true pure white flower.
They're all different tones. Yeah.
They're all different tones. And so,
it's not true at all.
so when you see a picture,
just like us, look at all the different tones of us.
Exactly, and this is a small group. But I'm saying, you know, it's so funny because you brought up the studio thing, and that's so true because people have time to paint flowers and to do something really specific for a really tiny photo. But when you talk about 10 tables, 15 tables, 20 tables, that's a lot of centerpieces, and there's serious labor that goes into creating that Instagrammable look because it's not so natural. You know, work with a florist. So let me go back to the screen. So, okay. So my question for you, Marcy, is that even though these are Pantone colors, why is it gray and black, but yet I'm seeing peacock blue, fruit dove, skydiver, cloud dancer? Are there more than just the two colors
Yes. Every season or every year, there are additional colors that enhance the colors of the color of the moment, you know, the color of the year. So
okay, so these are
illuminating and ultimate gray in here, but these are other colors that could enhance those colors.
I got you. So
and then they also set different tones too, depending on, you know, the series.
All right, and so then what are we looking at here? I see
here we're looking at what they call enlightenment, which is hypnotic. It's space visual, and it keeps your mind wandering.
Yeah, I was like,
where's the sage? Where's the lilacs?
So there's the lavender, there's the pink, there's the, what is that? Plaid?
I said lilac.
Yeah, lilac. Well, I mean, but again, these are all colors that we use basically every year. So that they just chose that these were the specific colors that they're thinking 2021 is really going to focus on.
Yes.
I'm really confused by all the grays.
Yeah, I was like, what?
For me, it's so somber and sad.
Wedding gowns
You know, if you want
stopped. I
to
was like, nope.
So then what?
Very
So what are,
ethereal.
yeah. So what are we looking at here? It looks like these are more muted colors. Like there's a.
This is like quirky. Somebody that's really bold. You know, it's really about heightening the dependence of, you know, everything being dependent on the gray.
Half of it's my face. Those three.
And then again, we have a whole nother palette of colors. Everything from glitterati, whatever glitterati is, to
This
green
is
glimmer.
Shimmering metallic tones.
Oh, so these
So
are
it's
all would normally
I
be
just
metallic.
can't really see it in the image here, but these are all shimmering metallic, and those kind of they call this orbital, this section orbital, which is travel influenced.
Wow.
Looks like
Okay.
ketchup.
I would
then-
be surprised if you see like shifting duochromes come back though. Like,
Well, and then
here's
of
the
course,
thing, because your job is to put that in Dragon. That's exactly what that would be.
well, and then
they
of
do
course you have a
duochrome.
color like
Yeah.
oil green. Ugh, that doesn't sound so great.
It looks sagey. It's fine. Hey, listen, my
Is it?
favorite color is green. We're not doing that today. So, Christmas trees and money.
And then the last one, obviously, that was sun and shadow, and that is a resilience to, you know, being resilient from 2020 into being hopeful for 2021.
Well, okay, so I reacted very strongly to the whole yellow and gray thing because I was like, really? I feel like, but then when you bring all these other, right. Well, then you bring all these other colors, guys. I don't know if you agree with me, but doesn't it just seem like we get to choose whatever colors we want?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, so
I
why?
mean, it really depends on your personality. I mean, I think this next year, couples are going to be bringing more of their own personality into their events.
Well, and I do like the fact that these colors are just a little off the normal thing, but I like the fact that it blends very well with the idea of a botanical kind of, you know, trend. You know, botanicals are obviously something that here in South Florida we're used to. Maybe they're just not as used to it elsewhere.
Yeah. And Tyler mentioned, you know, I mean, this has been a trend that kind of came in about a little over a year ago, and it's really kind of slowly creeping up there, and really, I think this next year we're going to kind of see it bump up a little bit more.
Well, so Nicole, you're up, honey bunny. So I'm pulling up your stuff. So I adore this, by the way. So this, I love the you know, what do you call this symbol behind it? It's a hexagon, right? It's a hexagon.
Yeah. So the boho is going to continue on. Geometric backdrops are super big right now, and all different types of sizes and shapes and finishes, from woods to metals.
And
macrame.
I do like the fact that you have that Oh, see, I didn't even notice the macrame.
Oh, that's so pretty.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. And then you'd see, you know, really interesting florals and very subtle shades, kind of a cow.
Are coming back.
I mean, there's no rules. It's about, you know, making it your own. And and it seems like people are kind of going one of two directions. Either they're going really big or really small, and they're doing really interesting things, you know.
Oh, let me go back to that, because I noticed that there's a dead cattle head at the bottom.
It's very, I mean, we have those. I mean, we use them.
Yeah.
We honestly use them in our decor. I wouldn't thought to use them in a wedding, but clearly people are. They're thinking outside of the box. And
well, look at their setting. Their setting is
desert motif.
In the desert. Yeah.
Yeah, I love this because. And what do you guys think about pampas grass, though? Because I understand that there's some extra work that goes into when using pampas grass. Is it harder to work with or no?
I don't find it that hard to work with. Yeah.
Oh, well, then
it can shed. Sometimes we have to spray it with hairspray and stuff. But
all right. So what are we looking at with this? I see two people lounging with some chairs that I saw at a local hookah.
Well, this is kind of your boho is kind of evolving a bit into 70s, and you'll kind of see in some of these pictures. So the peacock chairs are still super in. and then this is kind of a more modern take. Well, the peacock chairs, you know, the tufts, the rugs, and then this is very 70s, like in the color scheme and the feel. You either love it or you hate it, but it's the color scheme is very 70s and kind of goes to those shades of Pantone.
Well, I'm just glad that my picture is really small right now because I kind of yeah, I'm on the ladder of that. I'm like, even though I'm kind of into this stuff that's hanging in the background. I like, you know, the pieces that are hanging. I think that's kind of a cool idea, but
well, it's kind of, you've got some mid-century in there. You've got the 70s colors. So this is stuff that I just like threw together from our own warehouse. You know, so all of this is things that we have, but it kind of shows you like it can be used for baby showers. It can be used for bridal showers. It can be added to your you know, your ceremony backdrops from different textures, different materials, but it all has kind of an organic feel to it.
Well, and it gives me kind of an Indian wedding vibe. Is anybody else getting that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just definitely different. It's very 70s boho with
I got boho 70s wedding.
Yeah. What's this?
So another trend that's been going on, it's been going on for a while, but you're starting to get more mainstream, is called cottagecore. I'm wearing my cottagecore dress for you today. And really, this is, it's also called farm whore or farm bitch.
Oh, she's got a Laura English too.
Oh, yes.
Now we're off and running.
Yes. Now we've got a trend called farm bitch. Okay.
Farm whore.
The idea
Farm
of
whore
this is a lot of the young people are kind of shying away from the lifestyle of, you know, more is more is more is more. And they're dreaming of going and living in these cottages and having rabbits and creating their own food and making their own sourdough bread. And everything is very earthy and natural. And there's a huge trend right now in like vintage dresses from Laura Ashley, Gunny Sacks. Those dresses are selling like from the 80s are selling for like literally thousands of dollars on eBay right now. People are buying them like crazy. If you can find them, sell them on eBay.
Well, and I saw this on one of those fashion shows where it's you're literally naked under this, that the sheer fabric is supposed to give you the outline of your body, but have enough that you really can't see the private stuff, but you kind of can. I mean, I don't know how most people would feel. I mean, I don't like myself like in a jacket. You know, I don't want to look in the mirror and if I had the wrong angle. I can't imagine wearing something.
That trend has kind of been going on in wedding dresses. They've been having the nude mesh kind of underneath these sparkly corsets type in the wedding dresses for a while. This is just a more, you know, kind of fairy-esque look, if you will.
Yeah. Oh, you are base. This is me from head to toe. Love.
Well, this is honestly, you're pulling in a couple of things here. You're kind of combining both the 70s and the cottagecore. So you've got the color scheme, that's the golds and the oranges. You've got the different size chandeliers with different size materials, all kind of woven in, and it's still organic and natural looking. So this is pulling from both the 70s and the cottagecore to kind of give you a different look to your reception.
Well, and I like the fact that you brought in are those macrame chandeliers?
Look at beads. They're wooden beads.
Okay.
And yes,
I love that. Too. I love that. That's just beautiful.
We've been doing. I mean, before this past year, we were doing quite a few boho events, so we had lots of different chandeliers in different sizes and shapes. So this is actually from a wedding out in California, but this is kind of cool. It's kind of hard to see, but these bells that they all hung above their ceremony, they have people's names on them, all their guests' names on them. So they were to take home. So they were part of the ceremony, but they were also a wedding favor for the guests.
So for the people that are listening to us on iHeartRadio, basically it's a hoopah, right? It's a 4-post hoopah, and that they've hung really gorgeous bells above the couple, and each bell has a guest name on it. So it's beautiful.
Yes,
That's a
professionally calligraphy.
And then this is interesting. Is that a velvet wedding dress?
Mm-hmm. It is, and it's again that mustard yellow color from the 70s. So, and it's again different textures and feels. Everything is very tactile. You know, even you could see that in the invitation with the different materials. Everything's very tactile, and people are putting more thought into their what they're doing, because a lot of times they're just doing it small. So they're going completely using their imagination, getting really out of their box, you know.
And I wouldn't have ever actually really thought about doing an eggplant suit, to be honest. You know, it's not something that I think I would look good in. I just feel like I would look like a big hat, fat eggplant. Anyway,
I'll drive myself that day.
You're beautiful. You can get away with it. So yeah, whatever.
So okay, guys, input. What do you think? Yay?
I think it's beautiful. I mean, I think that one of the things I noticed a trend on what Nicole has shown and what I've seen as well is I see a lot of brides wearing their hair very flowy, very ethereal, maybe pulled back, you know, just in the top area, but very, like, as you know, Nicole has been saying, you know, very 70s feeling and very bohemian feeling.
Well, I love it. I think, again, you know, it basically states that, you know, what 2021 is telling us so far, and we're going to get to Tyler next, is, you know, do you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't conform to somebody else's idea of what your wedding should be. Do you, you know, if you like this, do it, but do it with gusto. Don't do it halfway. Take it to the finish line, you know, because if you do something kind of small, sometimes it'll come across badly. But if you do it a lot, then all of a sudden it's gorgeous. So great job, Nicole. Great job. Love it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So Tyler.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love this. This looks like it's a micro wedding and ceremony all together.
This was actually a friend of mine last week got engaged, and this was the setup for getting engaged. So they walked down that red carpet, and then it all lit up, and then they had a dinner afterwards. And I just thought that was beautiful. And one of the trends that we're all seeing, and I'm sure I've seen it with Nicole actually a lot, they're making those letters. Yeah, and for my dance competitions for the past couple of years, we've been using the letters as well. So the bigger, the better on the lettering. That's been happening. You know, it started as small 10 letters, and now they're getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, and I feel like, you know, there's a little pressure on the person that's being asked to say yes, because you got all this big setup and everybody's there, and you're like, no, I think
behind the wire is actually a gas can on the back of the matches, just in case.
Exactly.
What I'm finding is people are kind of getting back to the romance of life. And I'm seeing that in. I knew what Nicole was going to pull up, so I pulled up some stuff that might be a little different than hers. That bohemian chic that she's showing and talking about is actually what I've been working on a lot. So Nicole, we need to talk. I got some weddings coming up.
Okay.
And I have a lot of it stuff as well. But and I love that. It's kind of a festival feeling, like a Burning Man type of thing. And the brides are really going for that earthy, natural look, not so much makeup.
Right.
Minimal on the flowers that they carry, but yet they want more opulence in their surroundings. One of the cute things I'm noticing in some of the pictures and trends that I was looking through is people are starting to use heirlooms. And I actually had a bride ask me what I could do with a cedar chest. And I said, I can do all kinds of things with a cedar chest. So she has her great-grandmother's cedar chest and would like to have that incorporated into the wedding scene with a quilt hanging out of it. So we're going to do a very bohemian chic look, natural wood hoopah with the cedar chest, with the flowers flowing out of the cedar chest type of thing, and make that because that means a lot to her. Right. So her grandmother, in a sense, is going to be there at the wedding. So another thing was someone wanted to use a rocking chair and put flowers on the rocking chair. So there's been a lot of this using vintage furniture and stuff for quite a while now, but I think people are starting to now look into their homes, and because they're doing the parties in their backyards and saying, well, grandma's got all this stuff, and let's feel at home, and let's do all this. Let's make a more intimate, meaningful environment. So have things that mean stuff to you. Like I'm surrounded by my new meaningful clock that I got. So, you just bring things that you put in your environment that makes it sweet.
So I like this thing that we were just pulling up. It looks like a bunch of potted plants done in a brand new way for an aisle. I would have never thought about doing something like this, and yet I love it.
So people are doing weddings more in outdoor theaters, which is exactly what this would be. This is probably this is not one of my weddings, but I just pulled stuff up. I did a wedding recently at a park out here where they had, where they give wildlife lectures. Well,
right.
You could get married there, and they had all those natural wood benches, and it was quite lovely.
This is just, yeah. Oh my goodness. What is, oh, wow. So this is all the acrylic boxes with roses packed through it. I just find this fascinating.
Tyler, that's why we're friends right there.
Right? This is stunning.
I've been seeing this for a while. People are really starting to think about hanging things, and rather than having flowers on the table surfaces.
Yeah, love
and
it.
I think even Keith, approached me about an event where we're going to hang things. So yeah. It's just on my mind, and I saw that this was in the trends, and I think it's beautiful.
I do too. It's gorgeous. I just love the idea of suspending. Now it's so funny. You sent this picture, and I was like, this doesn't feel very Tyler-like. It's a lot of gold and pink, and
it's not. But this is if you look beyond the table, you see that's in someone's backyard. You see that this is an example of what people can do when they're on a budget. Incorporating beautiful. Just spray paint and go to the dollar store or go to the dump and get a bunch of bottles. But it's it's an effective look. It can be changed in different ways. I think the black stripes and the pink is a little harsh, but that's what their dream is. But I'm just showing you that this bohemian chic kind of thing can be taken to any environment.
But I love the fact that you brought up the fact that somebody could do this themselves, because if you look really closely, these are beer bottles, Coke bottles, wine bottles that somebody
ketchup bottles. Yeah.
Right? So
I'll cut Keith off right now before I put this all out of business. Keith, stop.
But I like the fact that you can, that's what we were just saying. If you do one, it's not going to be great. But if you do a bunch of it, oh my goodness, you can really have a dramatic effect.
And if you look closely, you can tell a florist did not do this.
No.
It's very obvious a florist did not do that. But when it's all together, it's very forgivable, and it looks beautiful, for what it is. This is another example of simple and accepts, like people are getting into these long tables, smaller venues, longer tables, and they're just using basically water glasses and single roses. This could be done on your own as well.
Well, and this looks like 1,000 different water glasses all lined up on a beautiful serpentine, and it's just literally a single rose in every single glass. Wow, what an effect!
Stunning simplicity. And I'm seeing this, I think I gave you some examples of wedding dresses and stuff, and everything is just becoming simple and more refined and very romantic.
Pretty.
And this is my favorite kind of flower, by the way. I love this flower.
Yes, and this is very much in what all brides are asking me for this year and in the coming year. Everyone wants peony. This is peonies. You can also use garden roses.
Remember that.
Yeah, so it looks like it's like it also looks a little bit like coral, like there's that you would see, on piers and stuff. There's a very specific type of coral that has this kind of look. I love this.
Now just be on warning that these flowers are very seasonal. They're usually in the fall, maybe twice a year. But there are beautiful silks in that peony silks, and you can mix those with the living eucalyptus and stuff and get away with it any time of the year, and it's quite beautiful. And actually the silks are a little less money than the real ones when you buy them online.
This next photo, you have probably 1,000 pillar candles all lined up, not lit, by the way. If you light this, it's going to look like a damn bonfire.
Yeah, it would be, but I thought it was an interesting use. It's just showing that people are doing repetitive designs and simplicity.
I love that. Yeah, but you definitely don't want to light all those candles because, oh my God. Oh,
If I was going to do it, I would definitely use, LED. This is showing that color, the color spectrums again, the dusty roses and that
and again,
metallic-y ribbon. Yeah.
Very simple. It's just clear vases filled with water with a floating candle and a simple band with a flower. But again, you do it multiple times. It comes across beautifully. Now, of course, we go to the opposite side of the spectrum and we go super lavish.
But if you look closely, someone has done this in their backyard, or at least a venue that's similar. You have a wooden fence, and so you're going for a smaller space.
Right.
And there's probably 50 people there or so. I'm not sure. I didn't count, but you're able to do more with your table scenarios, make it more romantic, put more money into it because you're not throwing a wedding for 200 people. So maybe you're doing it for 50 people, but now you can have that spectacular look that normally would be $100,000 wedding. And you could probably achieve that in the budgets that you're working in, for your 200 people, So you can take the money you had allocated for a smaller amount of people outdoors and just make it very romantic and just over the top, and your pictures will be wow for a lifetime.
And your guests will think it's unforgettable.
It really will be, because for those 20 people that you do this way over the top, incredible experience, you get and the pictures are going to give you that visual of this very expensive over the top wedding. But because you only had 20 people, you were able to do that in a smaller budget. So, do it big. I like the hanging cake idea. This is something I've seen from when we had David Caruso on. He had a chandelier cake that was hanging from above. So I like the idea of a swing set up with the wedding cake and like desserts.
So this might have been an heirloom that someone had, or they just rented it to look like an heirloom. But let's say your grandmother has a porch swing, and you could take that swing off and make a table and hang it with the swing. And now you've got something more meaningful, So there's things in your garages, your storage units, your grandma's house, your aunt's house,
right?
To carry off these very romantic, beautiful, bohemian type of earthy looks.
All right, so Brooke.
Oh God, I'm like falling asleep. Hold on. I'm kidding. I'm just gonna wait some. I was gonna go to the end. So
okay. So Brooke, it's all about fashion. So
no, okay. So Marcy, I'm trying to remember things. So, what I love the main staple I got from all the photos that Marcy sent is there's so clean lines everywhere, which I love.
Right.
Put it in drag. Do your thing. I'm gonna shut the whole thing down right now. Our job is to, if we can't talk you out of travesty, then put it in drag. And that's what we do, each and every single one of us in our roles that we play in the industry. They want what they want. They pay for what they pay for. We have knowledge that they may not have. If we can't sell them, we have to do what they want to do. And then we're just going to put it in drag, baby.
Well, talking about drag, so let's pull this up. So this is the trend of dresses that Tyler sent me, but I love the clean, fresh, easy vibe of it. It's clean. Yeah, you take away all the crystals, you let the fabric speak for itself. This is a very simple wedding dress, and yet it's so glamorous.
And it's clean, tons across the board. But you have to have body for that too. I don't currently have that. But yeah. Never. You don't have to put crystals and glitter on everything.
Yeah.
If you look like that.
Well, I just love this dress, and again, look at this clean.
Oh, give it to me. Let's go.
Lines, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Tyler, right?
Yes, and this is what I was getting at. I was by looking at. Every year I kind of look at dresses either in the windows as I'm walking down the street, because that's going to tell me what. Maybe not the trend this year, but the trend the following year, because fashion takes about a year to go. And I noticed about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, that this very sleek line, romantic, soft fabrics was coming back, and a lot of vintage-looking '70s gowns in the windows at the.
There you go. See, there you go, princess back there.
Love it.
See, that's like very Cinderella, but modern and clean.
Yeah, super.
So I don't see any lace. It's just clean fabric.
Well, and when I look at the girl on the right, I immediately thought of Nicole Kidman, because this is totally her style.
Oh, yeah. With the shoulder pads.
Yeah, shoulder pads, very clean, very simple. Again, not a lot of pieces and parts. It goes back to that kind of bohemian vibe, but done on a really lovely scale, that rich kind of vibe. But you know, you took away all the distractions and you let the dress speak. It's awesome. And then
there's like shorter trains too.
oh yeah, definitely. And look at
okay, so that. Let's talk about that.
Look at that.
Wow.
I'm wearing that for presentation at Continental. That's sick. That, all right. Put on some clothes, please. Yes, that's beautiful.
Oh my
Simple,
goodness.
elegant. So look, she looks sexy, chic, and she's covered from head to toe. Honestly, no turtlenecks, no long sleeves, super big. You know.
Well, guys, I mean, we literally we just talked about a ton of trends. Oh my God! I mean, my head is a little squishy right now. So, I
Can
mean,
I tell you the one I want to disappear with 2020?
Yeah. What do we hate?
I want the lace, the tacky lace and burlap to go away with COVID.
oh, what are you talking about? A little burlap and lace goes a long way.
I want macrame and sweaters. That's what I want.
Yeah, let's just do macrame. I like that much better.
Well, okay.
I'm wearing it right now.
Well, that's actually a great way to wrap this up. What is a trend in 2020 that you are ready to say goodbye to?
I am going to start, and I'm going to say I think the trend is not going to be delaying. I don't think couples want to delay getting married anymore. And I think in 2021, we're going to see a lot more couples getting married, whether it's for large or small events. I think it's going to be more on the smaller side.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to be much bigger, bolder, and more intimate occasions for people to celebrate and, you know, and not delay any further.
I agree. Nicole?
And I don't think that it's a dream. I think that's kind of reality. I think people are just tired of 2020 and sitting and waiting.
I agree. And I move forward with it. You know, stop waiting. Move forward. Find a way to make it safe.
I say let's get rid of blush and gold. I mean, it's so overdone. Every single bride, blush and gold, blush and gold. Have some fun with it. Show some personality. It's beautiful, but everybody, I mean, you know, you get the odd requests out there that people want to do Beauty and the Beast meets Iron Maiden. You know, you get those crazy requests, but those are fun because it's different. But blush and gold, oh, you can go with burlap and lace.
Thank you. I also dislike the gold. I think gold should go away, period. For me, it's just tacky.
Well, and you know, these are
thing.
simple materials that people know because they've seen so many pictures. But why do you want to be like somebody else's wedding? Be you. That's why I said at the beginning of the show. I said, you know, this 2021 is about doing you. Do what you love. Do what you enjoy. Figure out the thing that that you go do. Like if somebody goes hiking, figure out a way to incorporate hiking into your wedding, maybe visually. I mean, I know that. Nicole, you did a whole campfire event one time. So, you know, there's ways to bring what you love into your wedding, and you should go for it. Brooke, I'm almost. Oh wait, Tyler, what you already said? No burlap.
Well, I said no gold, no burlap. I would like to encourage the brides listening too, because this was just made aware to me actually yesterday. I've been working with a bride. We've had to move her wedding twice. And the consequences of this is their lives are moving on.
Right.
They're trying to get pregnant. They're at a time in their lives where, you know, the clock is ticking. She's 39. He's already 40 something. So they're looking at the overall thing, and now they're trying to buy a house. So their wedding is getting less important to them. So they're going to do it smaller. But just my point of that being is, just when you start thinking about putting it off and stuff, maybe you just want to do something smaller, something more meaningful, something in your backyard, something on the beach, something on a rooftop, go skydiving, something. We're all in the industry. We're working on the micro things too. You don't think that anyone can come to me, and if you just want a bridal bouquet, I'll do that. You know, whatever you need, we'll work with you because we're all in this industry and we're all hungry. So don't think that because you don't think you can have this big wedding, you should just put it all off. just keep in consideration that life is ticking and moving on. So maybe you should just consider having a smaller wedding and call Keith Willard and Tyler and Marcy and Nicole
and Brooke.
And Brooke will run
Hire
the
the
heck out of it. Actually, I'm getting ordained too. I'm getting ordained so I can marry people. Yeah.
I'm ordained. Oh yeah, you go. Hey, I'm just saying, monastery.org. You know, Florida has some of the easiest wedding rules in the country. And so for $25, you basically can have your best friend or whoever is meaningful in your life become ordained and do your wedding legally. So I think that's a 2021 trend, big time. Is that, you know, do you know, obviously it's more than ever meaningful to have people at your wedding. You don't invite, you know, 500 people because who knows that many people. You invite the 40 people, 50 people in your life that really mean something. Why not have one of them officiate your wedding?
Yep.
I don't know about the rest of you, but like I've had a lot of time to like sit down and reflect about life for 43 years. And I think what's happening is a lot of people, I mean, financially, obviously there's that strain, but there's a lot of people that are going back, they're looking at photo albums. 70s. I got this when my parents were married. So all these things are coming back. You want to know why things are coming back? Because people are going back into time and time traveling, because memories, people are losing loved ones, things are happening. So I think that's bringing a lot of a necessity into some of the things that we're seeing now, is because everybody's going back to the way things used to be years and years ago and moving forward. And I think that like we're seeing, I mean, there's always been the bohemian chic wedding thing, but like the macrame, there's just things that are like the stuff that the Pantones, all those things are coming back. Right. And to me, that's because, and I'm going back, flipping through my aunt's album, seeing all my mom and dad's pictures, all that kind of thing. People just have a lot of time to reflect. And I think family and love and all those things are actually really coming to surface now in these times. And it's not so much about the grandeur and the money and the drag show we can produce. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. So guys, I want to thank each of you for, and a phone. I want to thank each of you for being part of the last show of 2020. Oh my God. Yes. I cannot even believe that we're about to start season 2 next week. Oh my goodness.
So who's the winner of this season?
Well, Tyler, of course you do.
No.
And next week.
Marcy stuck it out. Marcy was always there.
Marcy is amazing.
Me and Marcy are tied, actually.
Yeah, my rock. But next week we're going to welcome Kate Pate on the show. She's going to be our very first guest of 2021. So she's amazing. She's a marketing strategist, and I think that every business that is still in business and doing everything they can to make sure that 2021 is the best year should be in on this show, because she's going to give us some hints and some tips about what to do to get your name out there. Again, guys, thank you so much for being part of Behind the Veil. I can't thank you all enough. Nicole Sellers with CLE Events, Marcy Gutenberg with An Affair to Remember by Marcy, Tyler Black with Cachet Events, and of course the always beautiful Brooke Logan Stoner. I'm Keith Willard. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Goodbye.